Now, some ignorant motherfuckers go steal school supplies from Mrs. Flint up in Michigan. They went up in her storage unit and stole school supplies. And the rest they destroyed or whatever or not. And I don't know what the hell they did that for. Right though. I mean like it's for the kids. School supplies. I mean like they had a pocket for that shit. But some people help her out though. You know what I'm saying? They gave her some school supplies so she could give to the kids. And that's some good shit. And that's some amazing shit right there. For real though, because them motherfuckers was out of pocket when they did that shit. They took school supplies, them kids' school supplies, and that's on bro. Anyway, now these ice ages is getting out of hand, for real though. I mean, like, these motherfuckers, taking these kids' phones, and they took these 5-year-old boys, or whatever whatnot, you know what I mean? For real though. Anyway, and they even took a, 1-year-old, or whatever, put him up in a facility, or whatever whatnot, you know what I mean? And then, they have to say, they have to get a lawyer, so they could fight their case or whatever whatnot, so they could stay here or whatever whatnot. Now I'm saying 73 kids got deported or whatever whatnot. Only 15 had permits to stay here. For real though, I'm like that's some crazy shit. Plus they're not feeding the kids well. They're not looking after the kids or nothing like that. Some kids got broken bones. Some kids got sick. All that, you know what I mean? Real though, that's some crazy shit. They had a pocket for that shit. And that shit need to be stopped. Now Biden administration stopped that shit in 2021. You know what I'm saying? But the president administration started back up again. And that's some crazy shit, gang. Real though, that's some crazy shit. They had a pocket for that shit and that's on bro. Anyway. Now, there's Walmart security guard start messing with this handicapped man or whatever or not, special needs man or whatever, for no goddamn reason. Right though, he didn't even steal nothing. Nothing like that, you know what I'm saying? He just was actually going to that spot to buy some stuff with his caregiver. Or whatever whatnot, you know what I mean? Real anyway, so I don't know that security guards just started fucking with him. Real though. So I'm like, damn, because they just end up following him about the blue for no goddamn reason or whatever whatnot. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, they invaded his motherfucking space, his privacy. You know what I'm saying? So man got offended like a motherfucker. Real though. So he took a swing at the motherfucking security guard. The security guard was putting him up in a illegal ass chokehold. He could have killed that man. For real though, he could have choked him to death or could have broke his neck. For real though, I mean a bystander actually put a stop to that shit because she saw that they was in doing some messed up shit. For real though, because that wasn't right. They just messed with the man just to mess with the man. And they was on the pocket for that shit. And that's on bro. Anyway. Now, the lady that I was talking about that went to Las Vegas, she was 63 years old. Or whatever whatnot. And just like I said, they wanted something to happen to her. For real though. I mean because the police didn't want to do shit to find her. Or nothing like that. The lady end up in a street train drain up in a compound up airport. For real though, I mean shit. They found her dead body right there. You know what I'm saying? This lady was 63 years old, you know what I'm saying? For real though, it was crazy as hell. But shit. Is they gonna do any investigation about it? I don't know. Because hell, they got what they wanted. Shit. It actually happened. Or whatever whatnot, you know what I mean? For real though, that shit was crazy. I mean, like I said, I ain't even read about it. You know what I'm saying? I just didn't say nothing about it, you know what I'm saying? For real though. Anyway, so yeah, I mean, like I said, that was crazy. That was crazy as hell. Hell no. I mean, like shit. Because it gotta be a corporate or whatever when I, you know what I'm saying? It said it was a surveillance camera. She was on a surveillance camera and all that shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's gotta be corporate. They gotta find a corporate that did this shit to her. For real though, because he not gonna do this shit to herself. And I'm already knowing that shit. It was like, you know, it's crazy as hell. How'd you go fall down the storm drain? Like, what? For real, though? I mean, like, shit, that's some crazy shit. For real, though? I mean, like, yeah, they need to like, investigate. But shit, I don't know if their lazy ass is gonna do it because they lazy ass always do some, like, crazy shit. If they're saying, wait for 48 hours or whatever when I... And that's some crazy shit, gang. They be out of pocket on that shit, and that's on bro. Anyway, now this like, you know, dude from the SWAT team, end up like, you know, the SWAT like went to this house or whatever when I messed with this like 56-year-old man or whatever when I, you know what I'm saying? Because they thought he had a blink, and the blink was on the like, you know what I'm saying, bed or whatever. This man had trouble getting up out of bed or whatever when I, you know what I'm saying? I mean, like, he was handicapped or whatever when I. They up there busting his window, getting people out the house and all that stuff, saying move away, move away, move away, or whatever when I try to give the man a warning or whatever. The man don't even know what the hell was going on. His ass up there standing up. He didn't even have nothing in his hand or nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? Then, like, you know, operator just shot him. For no goddamn reason. Just blade that man down for no damn reason. For real though. But they up there claim that once they like got into the house, they found like narcotics and blicks around the place. I'm a goddamn well they might have didn't find no goddamn shit like that. For real though, because like I'm already knowing they be on that bullshit. They just try to make stories up to make it think that they like, you know, just hit the right spot or whatever when I, you know what I'm saying? For real though, I'm like, damn, they just like make stories to cover up their goddamn tracks, and that's on bro. Anyway, so now this like, you know, dude, like, you know what I'm saying, that's like, you know, just like a governor or something like that, you know what I'm saying? I mean, like, this dude called Rusty or whatever, you know what I'm saying? He ended up, like, you know, dealing with this dude called, like, you know, Tony Cox or whatever, you know what I'm saying? And this dude said his, like, you know, shit being hacked or whatever, whatnot, like, you know what I mean? And he up there saying, like, you know, try to lie on black people, saying, like, you know, they going up in places, shooting places up and shit like that, which what I know is like white, like, you know, motherfuckers be doing that shit, you know what I'm saying? I mean, like, shit, they be going up in restaurants, shooting it up, going to school, shooting it up, you know what I'm saying? Going any motherfucking where, shooting it up, you know what I'm saying? I never heard of, like, you know, black brother or black sister going up in the place, shooting up the place for no goddamn reason. For real though, I mean, like, shit, I never heard of that. Never heard of that at all, you know what I'm saying? But for real though, I mean, like, shit, they just doing their thing, like, you know what I'm saying? Just up there, just, like, trying to lie and shit. And then Tony up there trying to cover that shit up, trying to make it seem like, you know, dude was telling the truth. No, dude full of shit. He ain't full of shit. He's a, like, councilman, like, you know, this man ain't Rusty. He's a councilman of Mississippi. For real, though. I mean, like, hell no. I'm like, this shit can't be true. But it is, you know what I'm saying? Got, like, you know, degenerates, like, motherfuckers up there running shit like they supposed to, like they, like, you know, supposed to do, like they, like, you know, actually run, like, you know, king of the shit or whatever, whatnot. You know what I'm saying? But they doing it their own motherfucking way. You know what I'm saying? With racism and racist shit or whatever, whatnot. You know what I mean? Real though. I mean, like, that shit crazy. They out of pocket for that shit. Real though. I mean, like, damn. That's some crazy ass shit. Real though, I mean, like, damn. Got corrupt, lawyers corrupt, like, tussle man and shit like that. That shit ain't cool, gang. That's not cool at all. You know what I'm saying? They got the pocket for that shit, and that's on broke. But anyway, like, comment, and subscribe. If you enjoyed the video, hit the bell on notifications so you can see my next upload and my next post. And to make sure I make another one tomorrow. And oh yeah, you can check out my previous videos if you like them. So long, farewell, goodbye.